promotions. And
we're just gonna record it. Just record it. Try to get it going.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess at the end of the day, my ultimate goal, the reason I got into real estate, is to make as much money as I could to save, to invest, kind of like Grant does in the apartment deals. That's kind of the end goal for me, is, try to build $1 billion real estate investing empire.
Yeah.
And I know I could make a lot of money quickly by selling, real estate and making a lot of commission versus, going to school or anything like that.
Yeah, but dude, why can't you make $500,000 where you're at?
I mean, I could, but I'd probably have to build a team around me, and that kind of a thing. I mean, the market, the average home that I'd sell in Iowa is about $200,000. The average home in Omaha I'd be selling to the developer is about $500,000. So I'd probably have to sell, twice as many homes, which, I mean, I could do that too. So
the thing would be is can you make that kind of money, and what would you need to make? What would you need to do in Iowa to make that kind of money? And that actually kind of segues into what I want to talk to you guys about today, because what I want to talk to you today on the show, Young Hustlers, we're going to go ahead and start. We couldn't figure the tech piece out. So Thursday noon East Coast Standard Time, we're here, Young Hustlers. We're live now. We're talking about how you can immediately increase sales. If you have questions for me, call in 305-865-8668, 305-865-8668. Dude, I want to give you 3 ways that you can use today to increase your sales. And the first one, the most important one, and what we were just talking to my homeboy about was, dude, you have to know the math. You have to work the numbers out. Like, you've got to get familiar with activity, conversion, commissions, and how those all relate with each other. And the reason that that's important is, and the reason most of you aren't even thinking with it at all is because you haven't understood the value of it, because you've never gone through the exercise. Like, I believe that most salespeople underperform because they don't actually understand all the numbers behind what they do. And so they have this unpredictability. They have this mystery about what they do, and they think that it's just a guessing game. They can't actually assign a value to every activity that they do. And as a salesperson, you do things every single day that you're like, well, I'm not doing a deal right now. Where's the money coming from this? And so I want to run you through an exercise that you can do that will dramatically improve your perception of the activities, the value of the activities that you're doing every day. And I guarantee you that there are salespeople, I bet you there are people that have been selling for 25 years that haven't gone through this exercise in probably since they were a new salesperson. Some people go through this, some people don't, and go through the math, but it's so valuable. So I just want to take you through a little exercise here and some things that you need to know in order to get your head wrapped around the value of your activity every day. So there's a couple things you need to know. Number one, you got to understand what your average commission is. Like, what's your average commission? How much do you get paid every time you sell something? Okay? The second thing that you got to understand is you have to understand your close rate. You got to know how many deals you're going to get closed if you get into a closing situation. So for us, we measure that with demos. For us, we measure that we look at calls. So we look at all these different things. Number 3, you got to know how many demos you're doing in order to get your close rate. Number 4, you got to know how many appointments that you're currently making. And then number 5, you got to know how many calls you're making. So these are things in order to do math effectively, to get you out of mystery and to get you like fully tuned in and dialed into the value of every activity that you take every day as a salesperson. You've got to know these 5 things: average commission, what your close rate is, how many demos you do, how many appointments you do, and then how many calls you do. And from that, you'll be able to determine how much money you make every time you pick up the phone to make a call. So I'm going to run you through a little exercise, and just for simplification and ease of time, I've got this all planned out here. So all you have to do is fill in this information for you. So let's say right now you're making 80 grand a year. Okay? Let's say you're making 80 grand a year right now, And the first thing that we've got to know is what's your average commission. So let's say that your average commission through your calculations is $750. $750, okay? Every time you sell something, you make $750. It could be $500, it could be $250, it could be $3,000 or $4,000. If you're a real estate agent, it could be way more than that. So $750 every time I sell something. What I want to do is I want to divide the commission by the income, right? That's going to break down to about 107 deals. So last year, let's just say you're using the data from last year. I did 107 deals. I got paid $750 per deal, which makes an $80,000 a year income, okay? So now I want to break down all of this to determine all these data points that are going to be really important to you so that you can actually go out and increase your sales today. Okay, so the first thing that we want to look at is we want to look at demo to close rate. How many demos you got to do to close a deal? So let's say you do 107 deals. And why I said at the beginning, you've got to know how many demos that you do. Like we track demos every day. We track calls every day. We track appointments every day. We track deals every day. You have to track all of this information in order for this to work. So a lot of you aren't even tracking that information. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to make sure that you start doing that like immediately. That way you can plug it into an equation like this. So we want to find out how many demos we got to do to get our 107 deals. And let's say that last year you did 535 demos and you got 107 deals. Now I've already done the math on this. This is a 20% close rate. 0.2 or 20%. So you know that you're going to close 1 out of every 5 demos that you do. Now this starts giving you more predictability and more understanding as you move further down. So we're at a 20% close rate right now. Get this cleaned up here. Okay, so the next thing you got to do so we've determined how many demos you need to do to get a deal. You've got to do 5 demos to get 1 deal. The second thing you got to do is you got to determine how many appointments it takes for you to get a demo. Okay, so so now we got 107 deals. We have, I know this is probably a little small, 535 demos. I'm just kind of putting this up here for a note, okay? And then let's say that you went through and you calculated all your appointments that you set for last year, and you set 1,070 appointments. This does not work if you don't have all this data, right? So I can't stress to you enough, like if you're not measuring statistics, you got to start doing that tomorrow. And the key things that you need to measure: phone calls, appointments, demos, and deals. And then you can break out and you can dig down a little bit deeper. And when we get back from the break, I'm going to continue going through this formula. Right now we know that you got a 20% close rate. Right now we know you got to get 107 deals to make your 80 grand. And when we get back, I'm going to teach you how to go big with calculating the value of your phone calls.
With over 20 years of experience in the real estate game, Cash Now PA is the place to go for buying homes for all cash with no fees, any condition, with BBB accreditation. Ray Abood, owner of Cash Now PA, has been helping customers get in and out of homes, creating better spaces for living, and making a difference in local communities. With the focus on buying homes, all cash, no fees, with any condition. Also be BBB accredited. Visit cashnowpa.com. That's cashnowpa.com to get started.
This isn't landscape design. This is lifestyle design.
Steve Griggs is the best landscaper on the planet and gives you knowledge and data that you can't even find on Google. Featured on Huffington Post, Entrepreneur.com, Grant Cardone TV, Steve Griggs is the entrepreneur built and designed to help you make your home become the lifestyle of your dreams.
For more information, visit SteveGriggsDesign.com. That's SteveGriggsDesign.com.
Buying or finding a new home should not be stressful or boring. With over 14 years experience, Good Time Tommy has spent his time building strategies, tips, and content that will help you, the new homeowner or seasoned homeowner, get the best deal for your money. Educate, navigate, and celebrate. Because whether you're buying or selling, you're going to get more traffic to your property promotion on every channel, and watch as Tommy and his team work until you are satisfied. Your new home awaits you with Good Time Tommy and his team. Subscribe, like, and follow at goodtimetommy.com. That's goodtimetommy.com.
Okay, we're back. Young Hustlers every Thursday, noon East Coast Standard Time. Me, Jared Glant, and my boss, my man, my main man, Uncle G, Grant Cardone, come here to teach you how you can go out, produce more, earn more, and be more in the marketplace. And today we're talking about how to increase your income today. The first step that you have to do is you have to know the math. You got to know the value of the activities and the actions that you take every day. And so that requires some calculations. So right now I'm doing a calculation based on $80,000 a year in income, okay, and $750 in average commission per deal. So that means you've done 107 deals the entire year times $750. That's going to get you your 80 grand. In order to get those 107 deals at a 20% close rate, that means you'd have to demo 535 people, make a presentation 535 times. And then based on what I'm going to show you now, which is your appointment to demo show rate, we're going to show you how many appointments you need to set to actually get somebody to show up. So you've had 1,070 appointments, and you've had 535 demos. Okay? So 1,070 appointments, 535 demos. Again, I've just done this for easy math. That's a 50% show rate, okay? So we've got 107 deals, 20% close rate, get you 535 demos. That means you got to do 535 demos before you sell 107 deals. And then you've got a 50% show rate, meaning for every one appointment or every 2 appointments that you set, 1 actually shows up. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to figure out how many phone calls you have to make in order to get an appointment. So let's just say over the course of last year, you pulled your call logs, you pulled your reports, you went to your dialer, you pulled all the data, and you found out that you did 660 calls, okay? So your total calls, and I know that this is getting a little bit like detailed, but it'll pay off in a second here. So we've got 35,666 calls, and you divide that by the amount of appointments you've set, which is 1,070, and that's going to equal 0.3 or a 3% appointment rate. That means that 3 calls out of every 100, you're actually going to talk to somebody and set an appointment. Now, the purpose of all this is just to collect data, right? So let's go 35,660 calls. So 3% appointment conversion rate. Okay. So now with all this data, 3%, 50%, 20%. With all this data, we can actually go through and show you the value of every phone call that you make. So let's just take 1,000 calls. Okay, so for every 1,000 calls that you make, remember, we're calculating all this data here. So for every 1,000 calls you make, 3% of those calls is gonna actually schedule an appointment with you. So out of 1,000, that's gonna equal 30 appointments. Okay? Out of 30 appointments, because we've already calculated the math, how many of those are actually going to show up? We know that 50% of them are going to show up because we've already done the math. So you're going to have 15 demos. At a 20% close rate, which we've already calculated, we know that if we do 15 demos, we're going to close 20% of them, which means you're going to get 3 deals. Your average deal pays you $750 times 3 equals $2,250, okay? This is really important. total commission based on how many, for every 1,000 calls that you make. So now what I can do is I can take my 2250. I can take my 2250 divided by the 1,000 calls that I had to make to do it. And each call that you make is worth $2.25. So the reason that that's important is because when you go and make 100 calls and you don't sell anything, you leave that day, you feel defeated, you feel like you weren't productive, you feel like you're not a good salesperson, but dude, you gotta work the numbers. Now, what you can do, if you know that every call that you make is worth $2.25, now what you have to do is you have to increase your income. And so you can take this whole calculation and you can flip it all upside down and you can make more phone calls or get better on your calls. That's the only way you're gonna change that number right there. You either gotta increase the volume of calls that you're making if you wanna make more than 80 grand, or you gotta get better on the call. So the first thing that you have to do to increase sales immediately is you have to know your math. Now, if anybody is a salesperson out there and you want one of our salespeople to walk you through that exact same equation and you have all the data, all you have to do is call the office. We'll give you a free little coaching call. You can call us at 305-865-8668 in order to do that. Now, I don't know how many people out there have actually taken the time to do that, but that is one of the most valuable exercises that you can do. Because now you know, dude, every time I pick up the call, I'm getting paid. If you can eliminate the loss perspective that so many people have when you pick up a phone call and nothing actually happens, dude, it can switch your game will just get flipped upside down. And that's why we have guys in our office that are excited and they're jacked up. They do the slow clap, you know? They do the slow clap. They do that probably 22, 23 times a day at least. Why? Dude, because they're fired up, they're excited, they're jacked up, they love being here. They know that every action that they take every day, dude, every action that they take every day gets them income and gets them closer to a goal and a target that they have. So if you want one of our guys to walk you through that, one of our sales managers to walk you through that, call 310-777-0255, 310-777-0255. Just ask for the sales department. Ask for anybody in the sales department, and they'll help you. They'll give you a little free consultation. If you don't know how to get that data, they'll help you understand how to run through that equation on your own. So let's see here. Let's go to a caller right now.
Hey, Jim, you're going. Jim from Chicago.
Jim, what's up?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening, Jared? Thanks again for having me on the show. I was on last week. This is great content, this show.
I love it, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's your question?
Oh, so my question is, when you're dealing with an organization with multiple decision makers, how do you get the attention to the right decision maker once you found out if they're not answering your emails?
That's a great question, and I'll answer it when we get back from the break. This is Young Hustlers.
Any business with an e-commerce store, physical products to ship, we're here to help. Ship For Me is the most efficient shipping fulfillment service in the world. Get your products to your customers fast, save money in your business, and satisfy your customers immediately. With Ship For Me order fulfillment, spread worldwide, we are the best in the industry with no upfront cost. We hold your inventory and will ship your products. Get started now at shipforme.com. That's shipforme.com. Franchising is listed by Grant Cardone as one of the ways to become a millionaire. Let the experts at FranFinders be with you every step of the way as your partner finding, buying, selling, and promoting franchises. With over 10 years experience, FranFinders is the company to help get set up with franchising, to help you get set up with owning your own franchise and finding a franchise that's right for you. Visit franfinders.com. That's franfinders.com to get started with your search today. What we lack can be found. When we lack vision, purpose, and goals, it's truly built upon discovering your excellence. We at Pardon have created a vision workshop where we create and hold an image so strong in your mind, we show you how to live up to your true potential. Find what you've lost or what you've always struggled to find. With a unique motivational style, a unique skill development, we empower others and share knowledge. And we're looking for people to join our team to help create more abundance in your life and in the lives of others. Visit partem.com, that's partem.com, to register and become part of our team. That's partem.com.
Okay, hey, we're back, Young Hustlers. Every Thursday, GC and JG come here to help you up your sales game and help get you on track to freaking busting out, blowing up quota. We got Jim on the line. Jim had asked a question. What do you do to get the attention of a decision maker in an organization with multiple decision makers? Well, I can tell you that either you haven't done enough to get their attention if you haven't gotten a response. They may not have the immediate need for your product. They may not understand it. They may have other things that they're working on. There could be a whole bunch of things, but you just need to keep freaking tapping on them. You need to keep tapping on them until you find out what the deal is. So I hope that helps. Let's go to
a whole lot.
Okay, there you are.
I'm tapping on them nonstop. I've been getting your guys' attention, so I'll keep doing it. Ship Audit Pros is my company. You guys are in need of the product. And GC said, let's roll last Thursday on the show, so I'll keep after it. Just waiting for a response back from you or Sherry. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to earn your business.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Let's roll. Next caller. Let's roll. Okay, so who we got next?
Eddie from Atlanta.
Eddie from Atlanta. What's up?
How you doing, buddy? It's Eddie Zingman from Country Home Furnishings. How you doing?
Boom. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, man, I got a question for you. So I've been established as a business for about 3 months now, and I've got some sales, and I've got a little bit of recognition in the community of, furniture building here in my area, but I'm not getting everything there is out of the market, and I'm not a marketing expert. So I just wanted your opinion and some tips as to, how do I blow it up? Some tips to, get my company out of obscurity and really get all there is out of the market.
And what do you sell?
I sell furniture.
Yeah, and what city are you in?
I'm in Canton, Georgia. I'm about 30 minutes north of Atlanta.
Canton, Georgia. So right now you're selling furniture, Canton, Georgia. You're like, hey man, I'm doing good, but there's a lot of meat left on that bone.
Absolutely.
And I need to do more to get it. Okay, so
absolutely.
Like, the game has changed. I was just talking to a gal that we were interviewing this morning, and she came from a background where traditional marketing was like, that was her entire repertoire. That was the company that she worked for. Everything that they did was like standard by the book. And she was like, I think that there's more we could do for content marketing and organic stuff. Like, our organization couldn't be more different than what she came from, because our entire marketing effort is based on organic and social and content. And so I think that there's a lot you can do with content marketing, with social marketing, in a community, building a network and really pushing for referrals, which is one of the things that I'm going to talk about, could be some awesome ways for you to increase penetration. So, and I want to, now that because you're asking that, I want to come back onto the topic. So the point of the show was to give you 3 things you could do to immediately increase sales. Number 1 is do the math. So if you're selling furniture, if you're selling houses, like maybe the metrics for you aren't, because you're not selling over the phone. Maybe it's store visits. How many people are walking through the showroom, the doors every day, if you have a door counter? How many people are coming through the door every day? And then of those opportunities, how many opportunities are actually landing with a salesperson and getting a tour of the home store or the showroom floor, and how many are getting presented a product, right? And then, so like just working all those things out. So how many people are coming in through the door? How many people are getting presented a package? From there, you probably want to add in write-ups, how many people are getting written up, and then ultimately how many deals you're doing. So that's the first thing. The second thing that everybody out there should be doing right now, if you want to increase sales like immediately, and this is something that gets overlooked all the time, go back to everybody that you've demoed or presented your product to in the last 12 months.
Okay.
So like, and the reason that this is important is that like at one point in time, these people were in market. At one point in time, these people either walked into your showroom if you're selling furniture. At one point, these people agreed to see a demo of your product or a presentation if you called. At one point, there was interest. This isn't cold traffic. This isn't somebody you have to go create interest with. This is somebody who was serious enough to give you their time and allow you to make a sales presentation to them, okay? So go back to every single person that you've demoed over the last 12 months, call them up and just say, hey, you know what? I was thinking about you today. I still can't figure out why we weren't able to put anything together, but I want to know if anything's changed for you. Easy call. Really easy call, costs you nothing. It's not a cold call. I would consider this still a warm opportunity. Dude, people don't buy for a lot of reasons. And sometimes people don't buy and you go into this mystery where you're like, whatever happened to them? And then 6 months later, you'll get a phone call and they'll be like, hey, I'm ready to do the deal now. It happens all the time in here. So they call us back up. They're like, hey, Rob, probably happened with Rob. He pitches them an ad deal. They want to, hey, I want to advertise on the network. I want to help, get associated with the brand. Dude, I want to, and then you're like, what, you do, as you're doing the deal, of course, you're like, what happened? What happened to you? Well, I had a partner that sued me. I had this thing happen with taxes. There's so many things that happen in business in life that prevent people from making decisions. And most of the time you have no clue about any of it. No clue at all. And you're just in mystery and you thought, well, they must not have been interested, but they are. And there are still people out there that have demoed your product. They've seen a sales presentation and they're ready to go. But they're just not thinking about you. So all you got to do is pick up the phone. I was thinking about you. I had an amazing time with you. Whatever. I know we can help you with your product or with your business. Whatever. Follow up. Reigniting the power base. So you got to pick up the phone and call them and just find out. Easy call. Hey, this is Jared from so-and-so. I saw something and I thought about you today and I was just thinking, why did we ever, not get your business? What did we miss? Why weren't we able to ever do anything with you? Just ask the question. It's such an easy call and they already know you. It's not a cold call. And I guarantee you, just from doing that, in this case, in this example we did up here, in a year, you'll do 535 demos and you'll close 107 deals. That's only like 400 phone calls that you have to make. There's only 400 people that you have to go back and call. You could knock that out in a week. Our guys could knock it out in 2.5 days. Because what are we talking about? Increasing sales today. And I guarantee you're going to trip and fall over a deal that if you wouldn't have circled back around, you would have missed. So what can you do to increase sales? Number one, know the math. Break it all down. Calls, appointments, demos, write-ups, whatever metric you can physically measure. First, you have to count it. And then you have to go through and break down the math and find out how much money you make per call. And then you can start tweaking the dials on the math equation to figure out what you can do to go from 80 grand to 100 grand or from 100 grand to 150 grand or 300 grand or whatever. And finally, the last thing you can do to increase sales immediately is through referrals. These are easy deals. This is like the lowest hanging fruit possible. People that are already out there, they're winning with your product. They had a great experience with you. If you sell furniture, they loved their furniture, all right? If you're selling cars, they loved their car and they had a great experience. If you're selling software technology, they're knocking the cover off the ball, winning with the program, right? So call the people that you know are fans and you know are successful and ask them for a favor. Hey, it seems like we've done a great job with you and your business. Your success is important to me, and I hope that my success is important to you. I'm in a position right now where I need some leads, man. Who do you know that wants to win like you have on our program? Who's the first person that you think of when I ask you that question? Get their first name, get their last name, get their number, and then make the call. So those are 3 things you can do to increase sales today. I know for sure 100% that they will work for you, but you have to do them. If you don't have all the data, you can't do the math. So start collecting the information like yesterday. It's so important. But even if you don't have that math and you can't go do those calculations so that you have more reality on the activity, the value of the activity that you take every day, go to number 2, go to the people that you've demoed this past year, find out why they didn't buy, see if they're back in market yet, And then number 3, go through your client base, find the clients that are winning, find the orphan owners. We got salespeople that come here, sell deals, and then for whatever reason they move on. That's what we call an orphan owner. You can go back to them, you can re-engage the relationship, you can fill the void of the old salesperson, and then you can start working that customer for either referrals or maybe a recontract or something like that. So those are 3 tips that you can use today in order to increase sales. We also have a great deal right now. If you text Cardone to 96,000, C-A-R-D-O-N-E, we're going to give you $5,000 in freebies. If you text Cardone to 96,000, text Cardone to 96,000. We got, dude, we got something for everybody. You want a millionaire booklet? We'll give you one of these millionaire booklets for free. This is 8 simple steps that you can use to get well on your way. This is the education that I never got. This is the wealthy man's education in 44 pages. Like I got the middle class education about money. This is the wealthy education. I didn't have to go to college for this. This was a 44-page book. We want to give these to you for free. Okay? Grant wants to give 1 million copies of the Millionaire Booklet away. He wants to improve financial literacy, and not with the bullshit that they teach you in school, with the real thing, the real information that people are using to go out and create massive amounts of success, not get locked into 401ks and being tied to crazy market swings and all that jazz. So go to millionairebooklet.com/free to get your free copy of this. And dude, we're always here. We're always here. Thursday, noon, East Coast Standard Time. You can watch us on Facebook Live. You can watch us on Stitcher. You can watch us, listen to us on iTunes. On YouTube, you can catch GC on the YouTube. The YouTube channel is freaking blowing up right now. We've doubled the daily views on the channel. Subscribers are going there faster than ever. We're putting some exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else on the channel. So make sure you go and subscribe so that you know when new stuff's getting added. And we'll see you right back here next week on Thursday, every Thursday, noon East Coast Standard Time. This is Young Hustlers. And remember, the only ones who condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. Stay away from them. We'll see you back next week.
All right, we're rolling.
Hey, if you like the show today, make sure you subscribe, hit like, and post your comments. Really appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.